Welcome to the Cumbria Chamber podcast. This Saturday, 22nd of April, is Earth Day, an annual day to raise awareness about the environmental problems facing our planet and celebrate those working to solve them. The theme for Earth Day 2023 is Invest in Our Planet, to highlight the need to engage governments, institutions, businesses, and citizens to do their part for the environment. On the podcast today, we have Chamber member Eco Group, who's doing just that, working on world-leading decarbonisation technology to be deployed in the UK for the first time this year. So joining us today, we have Gary Robertson, Group Opportunity Strategist at Eco Group. Welcome to the podcast, Gary.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for inviting me on.
Thanks for being here. So to start off with, Gary, can you just tell us a little bit about Eco Group and your role within the business?
So my role within the business is Group Opportunity Strategist. My role is non-commercial and non-operational, so I'm focused on business improvement, what we're going to do next as a business, and also help establish Eco as a legacy business, not only in our base in Annan, where we're located, but also in the areas we operate. So that includes Cumbria, South of Scotland, effectively the Borderlands region. We are looking to grow Eco to be one of those legacy businesses, a long-standing business that eventually becomes in line with other long-standing businesses in our region. Eco Group are a solutions-based business. We are quite an eclectic mix of business solutions that we have. The company started off in 2010 as an industrial dry ice cleaning business. It then evolved into various other sectors, mostly driven by client demand. So we're absolutely focused on the needs of the client and providing solutions to the client. So that's led us to become involved in areas such as IT, comms. We purchased Integrity IT, which is the Carlisle-based business, in November 2020, and we have a location in Carlisle, hence our membership of Cumbria Chamber, if anyone's wondering why is a Scottish business on there. But we do operate across that imaginary border which exists. We have divisions which focus on industrial processes and delivering industrial solutions. We have divisions which looks at building projects and construction work. So I'm very lucky to sit in a building that we're in Annan, which was a over £6 million investment, which was a self-built project, designed and built entirely by Eco to suit Eco's needs. We're also an SQA accredited business as well. And we are moving very quickly into the world of sustainability and renewables with our Eco Go Zero division, which explores new technologies and looks at how these new technologies can help us sustainably develop our business, develop our clients' business, and help with the challenges that are going to come down the track that we're all going to face around the net zero proposition, and also how do we actually trade more sustainably, reduce our consumption, be more circular, and help reduce the carbon footprint.
Yeah, so that kind of leads us on nicely to the subject of this episode today. The big news that Eco Group has had recently is that you've recently announced that you'll soon be deploying loop technology in the UK for the first time. Can you tell us a little bit about loop technology? What is it and how does it work?
So if I told you how the technology actually works, I'd be breaking IP, so I can't really do that. But the premise of the loop technology is a decarbonisation service. So what we will be deploying in Annan later on this year, in the summer of this year, is technology which is evolved from where it's currently at. Because there's currently a loop deployed in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates area, where it's simply producing graphene. What our service will be is we look to decarbonise gas, whether that's grid gas or methane gas or gas which comes from other areas. It takes gas from that. We feed gas into the loop technology, which is a portable containerized solution, so it can be deployed anywhere we need it to go, but we know where it's going to go in our office. So for the requirement of what we're looking to do is effectively our loop will become a demonstration model of the technology. And the gas will pass through the system. The system will then not only decarbonise the gas, but it will also produce hydrogen and produce graphene. So effectively, the technology has three outputs, which is decarbonised gas, hydrogen, and graphene. Ours will be the world's first to have hydrogen separation into this technology. And we're delighted to do that with our partners, Levidian, who have developed this technology.
So how did that partnership with Levidian come about?
So Eddie Black, who's the MD of Eco, has been watching this technology for a number of years. And the whole process started back around 6 years ago when a lot of our clients started to talk about sustainability and what sustainability solutions could mean for them. Eco and Eddie in particular then started to look for technology solutions, which eventually we realised these challenges are going to come down the track and they can have significant impacts on the client. How can we do something as an existing provider to help their sustainability decarbonise and also some of the supply chain solutions? So the technology that Levidian have developed has basically come from a university spin out. We've been keeping an eye on it. Levidian knew we'd been keeping an eye on it, and we entered into long-term conversations that have lasted around a year and a half until we got to the point last year where we were in a place where we could announce our partnership with Levidian and the strategic element of it everyone was happy with. So we have entered into a long-term agreement with Levidian in terms of the partnership, and we're really excited about the opportunities that that's going to present, not only with the technologies, but the positive impacts that can have. And we're going to be creating two of the most talked about and sought after products in the world, which are hydrogen and graphene. We're really excited about the opportunities that will bring to help support these products and these out actually being used more in the real world. Instead of them being hypothesized about, we're actually going to produce them here. So we're really excited that people have the opportunity to actually touch and feel this technology and come and see it.
Yeah, so I've heard talk about kind of hydrogen power for a good few years now, but you're saying there you think it's actually going to become real. What sort of applications can hydrogen power have in our day-to-day lives and for businesses?
So hydrogen can be used in many industrial processes, whether it's just as a pure fuel or a way to generate electricity, but it's because of the decarbonisation processes and the nature of hydrogen, it's actually viewed as a far cleaner gas than any other gas. So if you think about normal gas, that obviously comes with a carbon emission. If you think about methane gas is 28 times the carbon emissions of normal gas, whereas hydrogen is basically the clean gas or the liquid element that it can be moved into. So yeah, power's predominantly the main area where we can use hydrogen to decarbonise our energy systems and produce a fuel source which will be cleaner for us all, and thereby it's going to reduce our carbon footprint and will be far more efficient and sustainable.
And then there's a graphene element as well. What would that look like? Would it is I'm guessing graphene's some kind of solid substance. What would you use that for?
So graphene is an advanced 2D material. There's lots of exciting developments in graphene. Graphene products are currently the most IP-rich product sets in the world. It's breaking records. Graphene market is huge. The graphene is the lightest, strongest, most conductive material that's been produced. We are very excited to be we're going to be at the forefront of that in terms of we want to engage with the companies who are looking to homologate or integrate graphene into their product. We will not only be helping them in that journey, we can also help the client have a good quality, consistent quality of graphene into their product set. So yeah, the graphene opportunity is it could be limitless. I mean, it can go across at least 45 sectors. You can use it. Um, in most common day-to-day applications. You can use it in paint, you can put it in steel, you can put it in concrete, you can put it in clothing, you can put it in timber to coat the timber, you can use it in plastics, you can use it to conduct signals. So there's very different ways where graphene can be used. Right now we're at that really exciting piece around let's try and use graphene more. The problem has been supply chain, etc., and maybe even pricing because it's quite an expensive product. As a business, our ethos and one of our we think if there's amazing technology out there, it has to be for the benefit of everyone, not just a few. So, along with our hydrogen and graphene, we're looking at how many people we can help, and we're certainly open to conversations if someone's got an idea around hydrogen and graphene.
So next time we talk, I can expect to see you wearing a graphene shirt and pair of graphene trousers.
I'm more interested in having graphene in my golf clubs and my golf balls at the minute, if I'm honest, Joe. But yeah, I mean, if graphene could change how we construct buildings with steel, concrete, etc. There's there's huge benefits, and yeah, there are some manufacturers out there already um, putting some graphene related products out in the market. Um, we think that if we don't take advantage of the work and effort that's been involved in creating these materials, it is a bit of a waste.
Yeah, definitely. So the kind of first stage of your plan, if I understand it correctly, is to deploy the Loop 10 system at your HQ in Annan in
Yeah.
Dumfries and Galloway. And I understand that this is part of a kind of wider project of taking your HQ off grid as a kind of experiment. Can you talk a bit more about that, please?
Yeah, so like every business out there, we're facing the same challenges in terms of how do we become more sustainable, our carbon footprint, and then that's further being compounded with the rise in energy prices, etc. So there seems to be a lot of pressure on businesses. We've been looking at how sustainable and circular we are as a business. So, for example, our industrial dry ice cleaning business is a circular economy business because in its purest sense, that process actually extends the lifespan of products. In terms of we've always had the desire to go off grid. Right now, as a country, you would say we've not really done the infrastructure investments that we should have. So we want to create energy security. And if creating energy security gives us a chance to do it and we reduce our carbon footprint, that's a double win for us. So while the loop can help us with decarbonisation and producing, what we're also looking at is solutions where we can significantly reduce our reliance on traditional sources from the grid. So we've developed a project where we know we can deploy solar, wind turbines and battery storage to our building in Annan, and it's a 3,000 metre square building. We've done the numbers. We know we can have a significant reduction in our grid reliance. Thereby, it'll be a significant reduction in our electricity costs, and we know roughly the payback term is within 3 years. So effectively, after 3 years, we've paid off the initial investment. We're then creating our own energy sources, installing it and deploying it. And we're really excited that we know how battery technology is developing. We're involved in a couple of projects with regards to battery technology. So we know one of the exciting parts that we can do is we can look to upgrade the batteries in maybe 5-6 years time.
Yeah, really interesting, and we'll definitely have to check back to see how that project's going in the future. Moving forward, your plan is to then deploy over 60 of these larger Loop 1000 units in businesses kind of over the next 5 years. How do you plan to achieve this?
So what's been really interesting is since we announced our partnership with Lividian, we've generated a lot of interest, even though the technology is not actually here. Um, we know that when the technology is actually here, we'll be able to invite a lot of people to come and see it. So whether that's in industry, whether that's agriculture, because if you think of methane, agriculture is effectively viewed as the bad guys in terms of how the UK views its carbon, which is probably really harsh because the agriculture sector is probably where the most innovation and entrepreneurship is, and they're working really hard. So we're trying to support organisations who may have a want or a need for hydrogen. They might want some graphene. They might also just want to decarbonise. We're attracting a lot of interest right now. We're having a lot of very interesting conversations. Um, and once the tech's here and it's touchable, I think that will drive a lot of interest. One, like where right now, people who are kind of aware of what that technology can bring, they're very interested in actually moving these conversations on quite quickly. So yeah, it seems a big ambition for brand new technology to have that roadmap, but we certainly think it's something that it can have lots of positive impacts. And if we're reliant on governments and infrastructure, we're going to wait a long time, especially in areas which are predominantly classed as rural, like Dumfries and Galloway and Cumbria. We'll probably get things last. What we want to do is decentralise energy while we're decarbonising. Loop can do that. We could, for example, place a loop unit next to an industrial site and it could produce its own hydrogen from its own gas supply. We could deploy it in some agriculture scenarios where there's possibly an ED plant. We could look at the gas, etc., from the ED plant, put it through the tech, and you'd have hydrogen on site at a farm. So if you look at how the marketplaces are developing and some of the big industries like JCB, and I know there's some hydrogen tractors being developed as well. How do you get the hydrogen to the places where these people need to actually use it in their machinery? If we're going to wait for the network, we might wait a long time. The option to actually deploy technology which can produce on site in that decentralized model, it could be a game changer.
Yeah. What would a hydrogen tractor look like?
I've, I'm told very similar to a normal combustion engine tractor. It's fueled by hydrogen.
Like with an engine and just your, as kind of like you get cars that run on
Yeah,
liquefied natural gas. Yeah.
so JCB made some announcements last week around their hydrogen innovations and stuff. So and the tech they're looking to deploy. We're aware of a couple other projects that are looking at developing hydrogen tractors. So it's a really exciting space because if you think about how we're going to decarbonize, yeah, people are looking at electric vehicles, and that's got its own challenges as well because there's probably the uptake of electric vehicles is outpacing the infrastructure in terms of, I was at an event last week where Cumbria County Council made a fantastic announcement around ambition to say we're going to put 10,000 charging points in Cumbria by 2030, which is just an amazing level to set that ambition, and I sincerely hope they can do it. But decarbonising your car isn't just going to be the solution. We're going to have to look beyond the car. You're going to have to look at how much, even the area we're in, if you look at the amount of lorries that are on the road, if you look at the amount of tractors and stuff like that, it's how do we get used these new technologies, etc., and enable the tech that's developing, and it's going to come down to the fuel. So if we can actually support the deployment of hydrogen and get the hydrogen to where it needs to go quicker with less infrastructure, then that's where we want to try and help.
So say there's a business listening to this today and they're thinking, that sounds quite interesting. What's the kind of eligibility criteria for a business to have one of these loop units? How much does it cost? How many people do you need to run it? Do you need anyone to run it?
We love the fact that this is exploratory technology and it's intervention technology. Everyone we're speaking to is we're quite like-minded in terms of let's go and try, let's go and explore. We're very open to conversations. I think it's quite a simple process to establish what the actual requirement's going to be and where a company sits. But yeah, any organization who thinks this type of technology is really interested, or they're interested in hydrogen or graphene, feel free to get in touch. We'd love to have a conversation and then explore how we can build a project around this intervention technology.
Brilliant. Gary, can you just tell our listeners where to do that? How can they get in touch with you, and how can they find Eco Group on social media, etc.?
So we can be found on our website. Our website is www.teameco.co.uk. We also have a secondary website called EcoGo0, which is where we plan to place some of these technologies and share a bit more information. That one's ecogo0.co.uk. You can then email us at hello@teameco.co.uk, or you can find us on LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn, we're on the socials, we're kind of everywhere. So yeah, we're easy to track down.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, that was really fascinating conversation, and thanks for being on the podcast.
No, thank you. Thanks for your time, Joe.